have mentioned being pressured. Brown's Church is located just 2 blocks away from Yang's eatery, Conga Food, and he says Breed has done too much for the community for disrespect. Another one of Breed's supporters, Jeff Lee with SF Cause, agreed. But Yang says in his Instagram apology, he also has his constitutional rights. Jade Hernandez, KCBS.
San Francisco police are investigating a double stabbing that left a man dead and a woman injured early this morning in the city's South of Market neighborhood. Officials say they were responding to reports of a knife attack near Mission and Washburn Streets shortly before 5:30 a.m. Police say when they arrived, they found both victims suffering from stab wounds. Authorities say the 45-year-old man was taken to a hospital where he died. A 38-year-old woman was also taken to a hospital to be treated for injuries that were considered life-threatening. No arrests have been made in the case. Just ahead on KCBS.
I'm Kathy Whitman with a host of new traffic safety laws set to take effect in 2024, including one that can catch speeders.
The installation of speed detecting camera systems in specific areas.
Right now at 8:08, time to get you caught up on traffic and weather together. We're going to start with traffic and say good evening to Claire Beverly, who's looking at a problem on the Golden Gate Bridge.
Hey Brian, good evening. Yeah, if you are Highway 101 southbound in South Toledo on your way over the Golden Gate Bridge, watch out for a pickup truck that broke down the southbound 101 past the Vista Point. It's in the right lane. Traffic is backing up from the Vista Point, past that a good drive over the bridge and then getting into the city of San Francisco. No delays in the northbound direction over the Golden Gate Bridge, and overall things are looking good right now throughout Marin County. Now I want to head to San Ramon, where we've got some road work starting up on Interstate 680 southbound at El Costa. Caltrans is going to be blocking up a couple of lanes there, and then up ahead in Pleasanton, another patch of road work on southbound 680 just past Vernalis Avenue. We've also got a lane that's going to be blocked off. Heads up in Union City for a crash southbound Interstate 880 right before Whipple, a 3-car accident. Everybody is now over to the right shoulder, but it is slowing you a bit from Industrial Parkway. Our next report is at 8:18 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
We're getting a little break between systems right now. There is another one on the way for tomorrow. Tonight we're looking at mostly cloudy skies with a slight chance of a lingering shower, breezy at times with overnight lows in the 40s and 50s. That other system will move in around midday tomorrow, bringing rain and wind and the potential for a few thunderstorms. We do have a wind advisory in effect for the Bay Area until 7 p.m. Friday. Also a coastal flood advisory in effect until 2 p.m. tomorrow from Big Sur to the North Bay coast, as well as a high surf warning. Showers are going to start to taper off throughout the day on Saturday, should dry out on Sunday, should be dry for New Year's Day. Traffic and weather together on the 8s on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS.
Ask anyone who wants to put more jingle in their holidays and in their pocket. At NorCal Honda dealers' final days of Happy Honda Days, get best of the year deals on a reliable, fun-to-drive Honda that saves on gas, on repairs, and on holiday hassles. Cha-ching, ching-a-ling. Save on fuel-efficient Accord and CR-V hybrids that can take you to the snow and back without charging. On sporty, dependable Civics and HRVs that make every ride hella jollier. And on rugged, roomy Pilot and Passport SUVs that can dance across ice and snow like 8 tiny reindeer, without all the infighting and celebrity attitude. And with high-tech safety features and a Bose premium sound system, you'll be ho-ho-hoing for years to come. Happy Honda Days end January 2nd, so dash into your NorCal Honda dealer now. For more information, visit NorCalHondaDealers.com or ask anyone who owns a Honda.
Our Thursday evening News Watch continues on KCBS. 2024 will be the year some California cities will be allowed to test speed cameras. KCBS's Kathy Whitman reports this is one of many new traffic safety laws the CHP will begin enforcing in the new year.
The California Highway Patrol will have a host of new laws set to take effect on January 1st to help make the roads safer. One will allow 6 cities around the state, including Oakland, San Jose, and San Francisco, to test a camera system to catch speeders. CHP officer Andrew Barclay.
Prior to those being implemented, the cities or counties have to advise everybody of where they're going in and when they are going to begin being used.
Cities also have to conduct a public information campaign so drivers will know what to expect ahead of time. Another law is designed for pedestrian safety.
This law will make it illegal for a vehicle to stop, stand, or park within 20 feet of a marked or unmarked crosswalk.
It will free the area so cars can see pedestrians more clearly. And there are 2 new laws making it easier to stop catalytic converter thieves by tracking VIN numbers.
That would then be a crime that we can investigate and potential charges for that purpose.
Kathy Whitman, KCBS.
Well, are more people moving out of California to Texas for tax reasons? Pete Demetrio reports it's partially true, but you really have to crunch the numbers.
When you combine an analysis of state and local taxes put together by the Institute of Taxation and Economic Policy, there is an advantage for very high earners, $600,000 plus a year, to move to the Lone Star State. Tax attorney Robert Wood says you have to look at the big picture.
It's still true that people moving to Texas, if they have a high income, are way better off tax-wise. But what the study shows is if you look at lower income or middle income people, you've got to consider property tax, sales tax, gas tax, cigarette tax, all sorts of things to factor into if they're better off or not.
By income bracket, the study showed that earners making $20,000 to $70,000 a year pay less in total taxes in California than in Texas. Thus, there's a financial benefit in staying put. But on the other hand, factors such as lower cost of living, job opportunities, and political climate can be enough to put the thumb on the scale and convince people that it's time to stay or move in the future. Pete Demetrio, KCBS.
We're going to check the Warriors score coming up in 2 minutes.
Anyone with a license to practice law can represent you when you've been injured. Any lawyer can call the insurance company and try to resolve your case. But if the insurance company says, go fly a kite, not every lawyer is willing to take your case to court. The worst thing is when the insurance company decides that it's cheaper to wear you down than it is to pay you the amount they owe you. So they just keep throwing lawyers at you, gambling that your law firm won't be willing to cover the expense of a long, protracted fight. At Habit Law, we believe that a full injury lawyer should take care of every client like they were a member of their own family. That's one of the things we do, and we do it very well. That's why we don't back away when insurance companies dare us to match them dollar for dollar. We believe in you. We believe in your case, and we believe we can win. Call Habit Law at 1-800-INJURED. When you talk with Habit Law, your day gets a whole lot better.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-514-1026. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-514-1026 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security checks. Call 800-514-1026 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-514-1026.
Coming up on KCBS, a look into the case of Gypsy Rose Blanchard and how her story raised awareness of Munchausen by proxy disorder. Right now at 8:15, it's time to check sports. The Warriors are hosting the Miami Heat at Chase Center tonight. They are looking to continue their 8th-game at-home winning streak. They are currently at the half with Miami leading 58-51. With more sports, here's Matt Pittman.
After a rough Monday night, Christmas night, throwing a career-high 4 interceptions in the 33-19 loss to the Baltimore Ravens, Brock Purdy is ready to turn the page, and perhaps most importantly, the quarterback says he feels fine, despite leaving the game on Monday night with a shoulder stinger.
It's got a lot of treatment done on it and everything, so just to work out the soreness and, the whole shoulder area, trap area, but it feels good, so I'll be good for this game.
You're probably wondering, what in the world is a stinger? Well, nobody I can think of to explain it better than Dr. Nirav Pandya, orthopedic surgeon and director at the UCSF Center for Sports Medicine for Young Adults.
What a stinger actually is whenever there's some type of stretching or compression of the nerves kind of come right out by the neck and shoulder area. What ends up happening is players will come out, they'll say, look, I feel tingling down my arm, it feels weak, I can't move it. It really is a nerve injury.
Niners are in Landover, Maryland on Sunday, visiting 4-11
Washington Commanders kick off at 10 a.m. At the sports desk, Matt Pittman, KCBS.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was headed way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere of just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask like 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. It definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-298-3904. 800-298-3904. 800-298-3904. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from actual clients. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When news happens, know first with breaking news alerts from KCBS. Download the free Odyssey app and follow KCBS to get breaking news alerts on your phone. We are the Bay Area's news station, on air and in the palm of your hand. All news, all the time. Only from KCBS.
Traffic and weather together on the 8th. Claire's got word of a crash in Union City.
It's southbound Interstate 880 before you get to Whittle. 3 cars involved. Actually, it turned out to be hit and run, so technically 3 cars involved. There's only 2 there on the scene. It was in the left lane. Everybody is now over to the right shoulder, but you'll have an investigation for a bit, so that's a little bit slow for you. Past that, 880 moves well into Fremont and getting into Milpitas and then into San Jose. San Jose freeways have really calmed down. Still busy downtown. Lots of folks are still visiting Christmas in the park. That goes on until January 1st, so that's a great thing to do with your out-of-town guests. So that's got the downtown streets busy, but the freeways are actually calmed down pretty considerably. Now, I want to head to San Leandro. We were talking earlier about this crash eastbound 580 at 150th where a car ended up on the embankment. It had all the lanes clear there, everything to the right side, but they're about to stop lanes for a few minutes so a tow truck can do some work there in the right lane. Our next report is at 8:28 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
The KCBS 6-day forecast, mostly cloudy tonight with a chance of rain, breezy at times, overnight lows in the 40s and 50s. We do have a wind advisory in effect for the entire Bay Area until 7 p.m. Friday. Also, coastal flood advisory in effect until 2 p.m. tomorrow for Big Sur on the North Bay coast, as well as a high surf warning in effect from the North Bay coast and around San Francisco until 3 tomorrow morning. We are expecting another system to move in tomorrow that could bring rain and winds heavy at times and the potential for a few thunderstorms. Highs expected to be in the 60s. The showers will start to taper off throughout the day on Saturday and will dry out Sunday with cloudy conditions and some lingering showers. Dry for the first day of 2024 and even see some afternoon sunshine. Increasing clouds on Tuesday with rain returning Wednesday. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. All news 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS. Our news watch continues. Jesse Rose Blanchard, one of the most prolific figures to bring Munchausen by proxy disorder into the public eye, is being released from prison today. That's after pleading guilty to second-degree murder in the death of her mother, who had been making her extremely sick for much of her life when she was healthy. And with this relatively rare type of child abuse coming into the public eye, there's been a lot of misunderstanding and misinformation surrounding the condition, clouding the larger discourse. For more, Megan Goldsby spoke with Jordan Hope, a Munchausen by proxy expert and survivor.
Tell us, first of all, what is MVP?
Yeah, so Munchausen by proxy is also known as factitious disorder imposed on another or medical child abuse. And it's a type of abuse or neglect where a person, typically a mother, induces, fabricates, exaggerates illness in another, typically a child, for the purposes of attention or sympathy from medical professionals, families, friends, and or even the community. And there are 3 different types. There's medical, psychological, and educational. So you'll see it through different things like feeding tubes or surgeries, but you might also see it through mental illnesses that are exaggerated or induced, or educational through IEPs.
Do we have any idea where it comes from, any factors that might lead to that developing in someone?
Oftentimes we see this with cluster B personality disorders, things like borderline personality disorder, narcissism, psychopathy. But I do want to say that borderline personality disorder already has a very negative stigma, and I want to be clear that it's often a result of attachment trauma, and having borderline personality disorder is not necessarily a warning sign of committing this type of abuse.
Well, let's talk about warning signs, because not all cases get as severe, obviously, as the Gypsy Rose case. So what are some subtle signs that people might want to look out for?
Yeah, so typically you'll see that symptoms that are being reported do not match up with what's being observed. The report is going to be different than the records that you see. Others in the home typically might also be sick or have these different strange disorders going on. A big one is that a parent will oftentimes seem happy that their child is ill, which is a big thing that differs from, let's say, an over-anxious parent. And typically you'll see then also that the child will get better when there's separation from the mother or from the abuser.
What do you think are some major misconceptions that we still have about this affliction?
So many, and one is that it's super rare. Often we believe in the field that it's not that it's super rare, it is rare. We see it's reported as 1% in medical settings, and we believe that this is probably a lot more, but it's just going underreported because of the lack of education and awareness around it, even though it is most likely the most lethal form of child abuse, with up to 10% of children dying. And then the other misconceptions that we see, the big ones are that it's not real, or that you only see it in horror movies, or things like that, or it has to include severe medical abuse, which a lot of these things just aren't true.
Right. And then lastly, where can people turn if they need help?
Yeah, so people can reach out to munchausensupport.com, and on that website there will be, there's a lot of information already for families, for survivors, for all types of professionals, and then there's also a contact us form that people can fill out, and then that'll actually go to me, and you can talk then and get resources or referrals to different experts in the field, and to get support around this type of abuse.
That is Jordan Hope, Munchausen by proxy expert and survivor. They currently work for Munchausen Support, facilitating support groups for other survivors and helping to raise awareness. Right now it's time to check the Money Watch with Larry Kofsky. If buying a home is on your 2024 to-do list, here's some good news. Freddie Mac's average for 30-year fixed-rate mortgages is down for a ninth straight week, 6.61%. That's the lowest since May. Low inventory and high prices are keeping a stranglehold on home resales. The industry group says pending home sales, a measure of purchase contract signings, remained at an all-time low last month. The week between Christmas and New Year's is usually quiet on Wall Street, and this week has lived up to that reputation. Stocks closed slightly higher. Dow Industrials rose 54, the S&P 500 added 2 points, the Nasdaq fell 4. A federal judge has ruled that China's Alibaba must face a lawsuit brought by Kelly Toys for counterfeit Squishmallow plush toys sold on its e-commerce site. The suit says the toys continued to be sold despite Kelly's demand that they be stopped. Larry Kofsky, Bloomberg Business for KCBS.
Steve, I'm a small business owner, and my CPA tells me I don't qualify for the $26,000 per qualifying employee ERC because my gross revenue didn't go down enough. Is that true?
The law provides you can qualify for ERC if you satisfy either of 2 tests. The easy test, it's just math, that your CPA told you about, or a different, the complex facts and circumstances test, that some CPAs either don't know how to apply, or just don't take the extra time and effort to determine your eligibility.
You're a tax attorney. How can you speak about CPAs?
I was a practicing CPA before I was a tax attorney, and our law firm includes both CPAs and tax attorneys.
Now, is there a deadline to apply before the ERC is no longer available?
Yes, that's why you should call us to review all aspects of the ERC review and get your qualifying check. Call 888-TAX-DEAL. That's 888-TAX-DEAL, 888-TAX-DEAL. Or moskowitzllp.com, moskowitz.com. To start this new year right, Bill and Kathleen from American Vision Windows are on a mission to
about what we sell. We love people.
That's